friends, welcome to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. Happy July! Happy 4th of July. Today is July 6th, and you will be seeing this on the 8th. I have been very confused about what day is what on July 4th. I thought that it was Wednesday, which it was really Tuesday. I also made some comment like it wasn't July yet. And then I also wrote down that it was July 2nd. So I'm a little all over the place. You may notice I'm missing a co-host. That is because she is at the babysitter today because she didn't go on Monday or Tuesday because of the holiday. So I got an extra 3 hours and I could maybe have recorded this afternoon with her, but there's two reasons why I don't want to. One, there's someone here working on the tile already, and you may hear some like sawing in the background. He's not the only worker coming today. There is drywall people coming to finish and spray and texture and do all of that, and it's going to be really loud, I think, and they're probably going to be here anytime between now and noon. So it's going to be super loud later, which probably means Nova's not going to take a nap. Also, I am exhausted. I'm so tired today. I actually made myself a tea with caffeine in it, which I have not done that. I don't think I've done that at all the whole time I've been pregnant. This is month 7.5. So in 7.5 months, I haven't done this. I have made a couple of green teas, but that's it. Just didn't sleep well and I don't feel that great. I kind of have a headache. I'm kind of queasy. So I need some help if we're going to get through today. And I don't think I have a lot of patience today. So I'm trying to prepare appropriately for that and get this done so that I don't want to snap at her because it's not her fault. So we're going to just record this in advance. And that way, provided she doesn't take a nap, we don't need to be dealing with podcasts later. She is on all of my vlogs. I have been doing Vlogmas in July, so every day so far I have uploaded a vlog in July, and my plan is to continue doing so through the end of July. Don't feel like you have to keep watching them. I just thought it would be a fun project. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. This baby's kicking me in the lungs. Also, I kind of wanted to have a record of like one of the last times it will just be a family of 3, Josiah, Nova, and I, and also all the stuff that's going on with the construction when it gets done. So I'm doing vlogs, which is exciting. And yeah, I have literally only 2 projects to show you, but a ton of progress on both of them. And I'm also, because I only have 2 projects to show you, going to show you all of the WIPs that I have. So what's in my WIP basket currently. I'm trying to work it down a little bit because there's a baby coming. I'm trying to go through, get organized, etc. So I will show you all of my WIPs as well. But before we get into all of that, I have a couple things to tell you. One is, if you're looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me as the Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm also the Cozy Cottage on Ravelry, although I really have not logged into Ravelry lately. Sorry. I need to go in and update my projects. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything to say about the podcast in particular, please shoot me an email. My email address is thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, and that will make sure that I see your thing and respond to it. Sometimes on Instagram, the DMs get lost. Who knows why? I also have a sponsor for this episode. And if you've been around a while, you already know who it is. It's Ana Luisa Jewelry. This is my 5th year, I think, 4th or 5th year working with them. I usually do one episode that they sponsor around Black Friday, but they actually asked me to do a longer term partnership with them. So I'm going to have one video sponsored by them in July, one video in August, and one video in November, which is exciting. I don't know. I just feel like that's really cool. And y'all know that I'm very picky about who I work with or talk to or support. And when I say that I truly love Ana Luisa Jewelry, I really do. It is not because they're a sponsor of mine. It is not because they have sent me some jewelry. It has nothing to do with that. I love their ethos. I love their products, and I literally wear them myself all the time, as you will see. So I want to show you, they sent me a few pieces to share with y'all. And there's also a link directly down below and a code. So use that link if you want to check them out. They're having sale right now. Use that link. I'll put it on the screen and I'll put it in the drop down. It'll be the first link. So they sent me a couple of things which I want to show you. So first of all, yes, it's on my pinky. Do you know why? Because my hands don't look swollen, but they are because I'm 7 months pregnant. So I ordered myself the right size in this ring, but it does not fit. It doesn't fit right now. I mean, I could get it on there, but I don't know how well I'd be able to get it off without soap. So I put it on my pinky. This is actually, it's just a green ring, but it's actually a glow in the dark ring. My inner 90s kid, when I saw that they had a glow in the dark ring, kind of freaked out. And I was like, I need that. And they had low stock. And I was like, So I was really surprised when this one actually came. So it's green, but it glows in the dark, which I am so delighted about. So as you can see on my other hand, this is normally where I have my wedding ring. I have one of those rubber silicone rings because I went to take my wedding ring off to get inspected. It has to get inspected like every 6 months or something, or it voids the warranty. And I could not get it off my finger. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I should have taken this off 2 months ago, but I didn't. So it ended up being like a lot of hand sanitizer and soap to get it off. I finally got it off. So now we have this one on. So I'm not willing to chance it. But once the baby comes out, you better believe this is going to be a staple in my wardrobe. I love wearing like one ring on this hand as well. So I thought that was really cool. Another thing is these cuff earrings. They're literally like a circle and they just go into your earlobe. So I have those on. These little flower pegs are also from Ana Luisa from last year. And so I have 2 holes in my ears and I usually just have like a stud earring in the top one. And I have had these in for months. I mean, obviously clean them, but like I really haven't taken them out at all. So I just change out the bottom earring usually. So I'm wearing these now and I'm pretty sure I'd be able to even like sleep with these in. I don't think they're gonna come out. And the other pair of earrings that they sent me are these. Which I'm gonna take one out to see if I can show you. It's like a little, it's like a little horseshoe. So you stick that part through your ear and then this part is like shiny. I am not sure about these. I love them. I think that they're wonderful. I'm not sure that they're gonna work for me. And so if they won't, I will put them in my giveaway bag for a future prize for this podcast because I think I have large earlobes. Is that a weird thing to say? I really think I have large earlobes because sometimes when I try earrings on, if they're not wide enough, they just don't fit very well. And I think I can actually maybe just open these up a little bit, but then I'd have to put a peg on the other side, like a little rubber thing to hold them on. So I may just share these with y'all. So all the jewelry comes in these little pouches. And what I love about this is there's no plastic involved at all. It comes, except for like one strip of packing tape, it comes in a little cardboard box when you order it. And it's completely carbon neutral. So they don't use plastic packaging. And their order is carbon and water neutral. And you can, it has like a code inside that will tell you all about that. They were working towards carbon neutrality last time and they have gotten there. So I'm really excited about that. One of the reasons I wanted to work with them originally years ago is when they reached out, I was like, tell me about your practices. Like, is this ethical? And they only make things out of recycled gold, which I find fabulous because the mining industry is quite questionable. And I love that they only make things out of recycled gold. And they were at that time only using cardboard packaging, but they were working towards carbon neutrality. And I just am so happy that they got there. So they made it. If you order something from them, your order is carbon and water neutral. And it's ethically produced and it is made with recycled materials. And that just to me makes it worth it times a million, which is also they have cute stuff, but like that's just why I wear their stuff all the time. I have a silver ring from them that I wear all the time, not currently because pregnancy. But yeah, I pretty much can guarantee you at all times if I'm wearing jewelry, especially my little stud earrings or a ring, it came from Ana Luisa jewelry. So that is how much I support them. I love the company. I love what they do. Get yourself some dollars off. It's the summer. Treat yourself. Use the link down below. Just check out what they have. I find that their prices are pretty reasonable and I have been wearing their pieces for years. I've never had one break. So I love it, love it. Can't say enough good things about it. And I'm just really grateful to them for sponsoring another episode of this podcast and being willing to partner with me again for multiple months this year. Now, I have one finished object. I have one work in progress that I have been working on. So 2 things have been touched in the last 2 weeks. Both of them are knitting. I don't have any crochet to show you that I have actively worked on. I do have some in my WIP pile that I will show you. There's been 2 reasons for why I have only been knitting. One is my hands are killing me. This pregnancy is kicking my butt. I don't know what it is about the motion of crocheting, but my hand hurts so bad when I do it, so I'm trying not to do that. Also, when I'm writing, it's the same muscles, I guess, because I hold it. I don't know. That hurts my hands too, so I've been trying to avoid writing things down, if at all possible, and like typing it on my phone instead. For some reason, knitting does not do the same thing. It doesn't hurt my hands, although garter stitch does. A regular stockinette, knit and purl does not. So I have only been knitting, but I will show you everything. And I have made a huge amount of progress on these WIPs. So the first reason is my hand hurts. The second reason is I've had big, like monogamous project energy, which I don't understand. I am almost never like that. I like to work on like 10 projects at a time, but I have just been powering through trying to get some stuff finished. And therefore I have. So the first thing I finished is a pair of socks, and not just any socks, but these are the socks that I made to take with me in my hospital bag for when baby Noah is born. And I can't pack anything, I can't organize anything in this house. The construction is still all over the place. But hey, the socks are done that I'm gonna wear after I give birth to him. So the yarn is Malia Made It. It was a secret surprise sock set based on The Mandalorian. And so the colorway is Foundling Family. And this is how much I have left. About, I'm gonna guess 50 grams-ish of the main color. And then this little bit of the mini is what's left. And it is a 75-25 merino nylon. And I finished them. Last time I had finished one sock, I don't know which one, and I was like halfway through the cuff, so I actually knit the rest of the cuff, the heel, the whole foot, and the toe. That's quite a bit of sock knitting, if you ask me. I just was like really determined to get these done, probably because I want to nest and I cannot. This is the only, like, if I get these done, then I'll have some kind of semblance of preparation for when this baby comes. So they're done, they're done, they're done, and I love them. And they fit perfectly, and this is what they look like. I adore them. So I knit these top down. I cast on 65 stitches on my Chalgu 2.25 millimeter red lace needles, my 9-inch circulars. I knit 15 rounds of ribbing, and then I knit 1 round in stockinette in the green before I changed, just because I didn't want the purl bumps to show up in the gray. I knit about 6 inches total of leg, put in a fish lips kiss heel, knit all the way down to the toe, and then put in a rounded toe for Mina's 2 at a time sock recipe. Mina is the knitting expat. I really need to write that down because I can never remember where the rounded toe came from, if it's her 2 at a time sock recipe or the vanilla sock recipe, but I love her rounded toe and I have it memorized. And it's the one that fits my fat toes the best. I have normal looking feet. They don't look like they're, but my toes are fat. I constantly have problems where the toe box is not wide enough in shoes. Jealous of the people who have the nice skinny narrow feet. And you can just wear the fabulous shoes and not have it crush your pinky toe to death. So yes, so this whole sock has been completed, both of them, using the sock rollers that I talked about last time. And I put a link below, but they're sold out again because they're so popular. There will be more coming sometime in July. So as soon as these are available again, I will link them again. It's from Twice Sheared Sheep. It is a sock ruler that gives you put this in the heel and you just knit until you reach kids, women's, or men's sizes. And then you put in the toe. And I will say it worked perfectly. These fit me so well. They don't slip down. They fit my heel. It's delightful. I think I've been making my socks about 1/4 of an inch too short, and this sock ruler has fixed that. So I have woven in all the ends. They are like finished, finished, finished. The only thing I have to do is take a picture of them for posterity and then pack them away because I'm not really going to wear them for another, hopefully 10 weeks when this baby comes out. So yeah, I just love it. It was a really, really lovely surprise I love The Mandalorian, love that show. I love Baby Yoda, and I'm having a little boy, so these socks are totally perfect for that. That is my finished object. A pair of socks. The other pair of socks that I have, you'll see later, but it has not been touched. Only these socks have been touched. Yeah, delightful. I just need to wash them and take a photo and then put them someplace safe so I can pack them in my hospital bag. And then refill my sock bag with a new ball of sock yarn. Probably won't be started until after the baby comes, but who knows? We'll see. The second thing that I have been working on is my mix and match cardigan, and I have finished the body. I know, huge. It's going to be difficult to show you because there are 3 balls of yarn attached to this. There is one for each sleeve and one for the collar. I'm currently working on the collar. Picking up stitches is one of my least favorite things to do because it just requires me to concentrate, and I cannot do that when Nova's around. So one day in the last 2 weeks, she took a great nap, and I actually picked up and knit both sleeves and the entire button band, which took me an hour and a half to do. It takes me a long time. But it was worth it, even though there's 3 balls of yarn attached, because now at any point I can just pick it up and knit it. So this is the Mix and Match cardigan. It is a pattern by Nina Phillips. It has been on my to make list for quite a long time. This is what it looks like. There are lots of options in this pattern. That's why it's called Mix and Match. So you can make it a textured body or a plain stockinette body. I chose plain. You can make it to have a high or low hem, or a straight hem on the bottom. I chose a high-low hem. You can make it to have a regular collar or a shawl collar. I chose a shawl collar and I heavily modified it. I also am making, I feel like there's a frog in my throat. Like, why? Why? Probably because of all the construction dust in our house. She wears this with not much, it's not showing you at all. It's pretty tight. And that's not my aesthetic at all, so I wanted it to be looser. So I am making a size that is bigger than what I would be called for in the pattern. So I am making the 46-inch size instead of the 42-inch size, so that it will be like a little oversized and cozy. That is what I want it to be. So I'm working on the shawl collar right now. For some reason, I just wanted to work on it. Instead of doing the sleeves first, I wanted to work on that. Let's see if I can manage to show you this without dumping yarn. No, everywhere. Okay. All 3 balls are tangled up. So this is the sweater itself. This is where I was the last time you saw it. I was this much down the body. I actually have finished the entire body and the bottom, including all of this ribbing. This is going to be the tricky part. I should have I'm just not sure. I don't want to make this in like an irreversible knot, but I don't know necessarily how that's possible to make this knot into a knot. Also, yarn everywhere. yarn akimbo. Okay, there's the ball for that sleeve. Here is the ball for this sleeve, the right sleeve. That can go behind me. Here is the ball for the shawl collar. So now I can show it to you like this. So as you can see, got lots of stitch markers. The collar is on a cable. Actually, this is 2 ChildCare cables together that I attached because I need it to be longer. I am at the point where I need to do a buttonhole row, but I need to be able to try it on to do a buttonhole row. When you're doing buttons, instead of just laying the sweater flat and placing them willy-nilly, what you should do is put the sweater on, and right here is the apex of your bust. If you have a bust, this is where the bust button goes. So this is the most important button. If you put the button the right place in your bust, you will have much less gapping issues. So you should place this button and then space out the other buttons evenly based on that button. Does that make sense? So I'm at the point where I need to do that, but I haven't done it yet. So I put it on 2 cables so that I could try it on. As called for in the pattern, I'm going to show you on these stitch markers. The original shawl collar short rows were only going to be worked over this amount of yarn. So not very many. It was going to be a really small shawl collar. I like a big shawl collar. So I actually put a marker here at the end of the raglan shaping on the front. And I worked short rows, as you can see, from here all the way to here. So this part is the back of the neck. There's no short rows there. But from here to here, short rows every 3 stitches, which that's a lot of knitting, y'all. I'm using quite a bit of yarn to make this, but that is okay. I have plenty. The yarn that I am using, as you can see, is hot pink, and it was dyed for me by my friend, who is Maria of Fat Buddy Yarn. Hi, Maria. And she was like, how pink? And I was like, I wanted to physically hurt your eyeballs. I wanted to burn. I want to be able to be seen from space. And I'm pretty on brand. I'm going to try this on. I am not sure. I don't think this is going to work because the sleeves have just been picked up. They're not long enough. And I don't think I can fit my arms through them, but I'll try. Without wrecking the sweater. Because this one is on a really short cable, this one over here. Eee. Okay. This one is like cutting off my circulation. I don't want to yank on it. So it's not going to be like a real try on. Before I put this buttonhole row on, I need to knit. There's usually a stockinette portion of sleeves or a straight portion before you start decreasing. I need to knit that so that my arm is a little smaller, like where this is down here, so that I can try this on properly. Oh yeah, I'm so happy with this shawl collar, y'all. So happy with it, because this is going to be another inch bigger. It's about an inch right now. Then you have the buttons, and then 1 more inch, so that will give me fold over room. So let's see if I could do this. This is the most precarious. So originally the short rows were going to start here, maybe here, and I made them start here. So you can see that gives a much bigger and wider shawl collar, and then I'm just going to add another inch all around to it. This I can't stretch out all the way because it's on a needle and I don't want to lose a bunch of stitches. Here's the baby bump. But you can see this is my high-low hem. So this is all short rows too. You can see how it goes right to below my butt, and that is exactly what I wanted it to do. It's probably going to grow a couple of inches down when I block it, which will be perfect. It will be perfect. And so what I'm planning on doing, to give you a visual, is I'm going to knit the stockinette portion of each of these sleeves. before the decreases start. Then I'm going to try it on again. I'm going to put it on and put a pin right here. And that will show me where that button needs to go, and then I will place the rest of the buttonholes. Then I can do the buttonhole row, and then I can finish the collar, the button band. I'm trying to think of what it's called. So I'm gonna try, and now I gotta get this off. Oh no, I don't know how. Yee! I gotta do it without breaking the sweater. The lengths we go to for podcasting glory. Now you can see I have stoppers on the sleeves, these purple stoppers. I still don't trust it really, so what I'm going to do is pull these out. And this is also a pro tip. If you have an interchangeable knitting needle set, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but there's a hole right here. You'll be able to see it once I put this through. That is the hole that you use to tighten the cable to the needle. You can put like a light bulb stitch marker through it, that will fit, and it will be solid. So this, I am not worried about coming out. No matter how much I manhandle it, it will be just fine. Whereas these potentially could pop off while I was working on the shawl collar. So pretty much any interchangeable set, unless it's like a click-in set, it's a screw-on needle, it has a tightening hole. And you can use this trick to make sure it's going to stay put. I am not going to do that on the body because this is way, way long of a cable. I am going to have to pack this up somehow. Every time I pull it out, it gets tangled. And this is like why they say, you know, do one sleeve at a time and then the shawl collar, because it's drama when you have multiple balls of yarn attached to multiple parts of your sweater. There, it's all in a bundle. It's living in this giant sweater bag that my very best friend, Caitlin, made me years ago, truly years ago. This sweater housed the Skyrim cardigan for a long, long time, and now it houses this one. And I have big get stuff done energy. Well, energy is questionable. That's putting it strongly. I have big get stuff done motivation. I don't have a lot of energy, but I want to have significant progress on that before I see you again. It would be fabulous if I could get that whole thing done before the baby comes. I think it's possible. At the moment, I also meant to say this, I have knit that sweater on 3 different kinds of needles. So I started it on Luca Driftwoods. Then I switched for the body to, what is it called? Dang it. I have their set. I can't even think of the name now. It's the people I have the Tunisian hooks from, and then they sent me a plastic knitting needle set to review as part of the arthritis hands knitting compilation that I'm trying to do. It'll come to me. My brain is apparently just a sieve. I can show you the needle. It's right here. This one. So I knit the whole body of it on this, and then for the ribbing and picking up stitches, I switched back to my Chow Goose, which are pretty great. So yeah, lots of needles on this project. So what's in my WIPs? I'm going to show you some active WIPs and some inactive WIPs that need to frog. The first bag is the leftovers from my super bulky grandma cardigan that I showed you in the last podcast episode that is finished. Everything is still in this bag. Number 1, because I have not put the yarn away. And number 2, because I have not put the buttons on the sweater yet. I still have to do that. So everything for that whole sweater, all the paraphernalia, stitch markers, it all needs to be put away. It's still technically a work in progress, even though it's been washed and blocked and all the ends are woven in, because the buttons are not attached. I need to sit down and do that. There's literally only 3 buttons. It wouldn't take me that long. don't have time. So it has not been done. But I want to get that done because then I can rehome this bag to the cabinet. I'm trying to get through some stuff so there's more room. This is a giant bag given to me by my friend Emmy. It was so perfect for such a huge project. So I have 3 active WIPs, meaning 3 things that I will be working on or have been working on or will be working on as soon as these are done. So the first is a pair of socks and the other 2 are crochet projects. This pair of socks you did see last time. It just has not had any love because I've been working on the hospital socks. I was all the way through one sock almost. I think I had maybe a ½ inch left of the foot before I start the toe. Just a stripy sock, stripy shorty sock. So that one will probably get some attention because it will be the only sock on the needles now. And the other 2 are crochet. This one, I'm hoping to put in some work on as soon as either my hands feel better or the mix and match cardigan is done. It's my Hekla cardigan, which as we talked about before, I am heavily modifying. So I'm no longer calling it the Hekla cardigan, I'm calling it the Caleisha cardigan. So last time I had crocheted a bunch and then ripped it back because I did not like the fit. So I think 2 rows, maybe I did. I actually think I did work on this because the stitch marker is here. I think I have crocheted 2 rows on this since the last time you saw it, but that's hardly anything. So my plan is I need to add some decreases to the arms, which are not called for in the pattern. I need to work straight in the body up to the point where I ripped it back the first time. Try it on again and see how it fits. Then I will continue fading straight down. I will not be doing, I may add some waist shaping, but I'm not going to do any of the increases or decreases as called for in the body of the pattern. I just don't think I'm gonna like that fit at all on myself. So I'm gonna work it straight down, then complete the sleeves. Well, maybe I'll be completed simultaneously. And then before I do the collar button band, I'm going to try it on. This neck is a little too wide for my comfort. And I'm not sure the button band in the pattern is what I'm going for because it's made to go with the increases and decreases called for, and I'm not doing them. So I may do just a straight collar all the way around, or I may fold this over just a bit, make it into a slight V-neck, and then work a big collar in the back and just a button band here. Haven't decided. That's the Hekla cardigan. It did in fact get touched since the last podcast, but not much has happened. And I don't foresee much happening until either it flip-flops and knitting suddenly hurts my hands and crochet doesn't, or the mix and match cardigan is finished and I can just dedicate some time to that. I truly don't know where the monogamous energy is coming from, but I'll take it. Progress is happening. The other active WIP I haven't worked on in a while, but it is an active WIP and will continue to be for a very long time. It is my Crochet Memories blanket. This is a pattern that I designed. It is join as you go, corner to corner squares. There's a free tutorial on my YouTube channel. Also, if you would like a written pattern with photo tutorial and written instructions, you can buy it for $1 on my Ravelry store. And so many people have made these or are making them, and it just fills my heart with so much happiness. I know that I will keep working on this for a long time. Ooh, look at all those ends. That is going to be a nightmare. But this is how big it is currently. And this I probably will work on after the baby comes a fair amount, I would imagine, because you can just do 1 square at a time. It's not really a big deal. Actually, these were my original squares, these 4, and I built it out from there. So you can add on any corner. Right now I'm just going around. So like this goes up to here, and once I reach this, it's gonna go across the top. Oh yeah, I love it. I love the patchwork. This will eventually be a blanket on our couch. Probably a long time from now, because I want it to be fairly large to snuggle under. My husband actually really likes this aesthetic, the patchwork kind of aesthetic, and normally he couldn't care less about crochet. So yeah, this is making me happy. There is no current one in progress. It looks like the last time I worked on this, there were 2 squares that I completed. I don't know if I ever showed you those or not. Not sure. But it's living in this giant planet bag. And this planet bag is full of little 10 gram minis. These are leftovers from the 10 gram minis. So everything in this bag has already been put into the blanket. And what is left in here will each be 1 blanket square. I don't know how many of these I have left, truly. I've got a pair of scissors in here. I have all of these minis. So I'm gonna guess at least as many squares as was already in the blanket is what is left in this bag. I have a little container of stitch markers, which my friend and patron Jen sent to me, and I just love this little thing. It's like a little metal stitch marker tin. Love it. That way I can put a new stitch marker on every square as I complete it. So between podcasts, I know where I was. After all of these minis are added to this blanket, my plan is then to go into my scraps, etc., that are in the closet and start adding those. Like I will for sure be adding a square from the hospital socks that I just made. Of course I will. And there's a lot of other projects that I have scraps and leftovers of that will go into this blanket as well. Hence why it's called Crochet Memories. So those are the active WIPs. Those will be worked on. That pair of socks, the Hecla cardigan, and the Crochet Memories blanket will all see airtime in the future. I have 3 WIPs that are not active, meaning I either don't know what to do with them or they need to be frogged. The first one is living in the Feminist Knit Club bag, which is by Nerdbird Makery ages ago. It has a pin on it that says Mischief Manage, which I just, love it. What is living in here is a project that has seen the light of day multiple times and been frogged multiple times, and now it's back to this itsy bitsy teeny weeny. This is an Ice Yarns. I have 4 skeins of this Ice Yarn colorway. I don't know the name of it because Ice Yarn doesn't tell you the name of it except for on the bag. It doesn't tell you on the ball label. And this yarn was a gift from my friend Amanda. My original plan was to make a huge, ginormous neutral shawl. And I went through several iterations. I finally settled on these baubles, which I love. But then I realized the way that I was planning to crochet the shawl, these baubles would actually be up here where you couldn't see them instead of on the bottom. So I was like, what do I do about that? I could put baubles on both sides, but that's a lot of baubles. So it's just been hanging out. And I think what I'm actually going to do, potentially, is frog it. I just don't know if this yarn is my color. Like pale colors kind of wash me out. So I could spend a lot of time making this and never wear it. Or I could frog this. Find some different yarn in my stash once my stash is accessible after the construction. And retry to make the same pattern with a different yarn. And maybe put this in something else. Maybe use it as stripes with a different color so that perhaps it wouldn't be so stark next to my face. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of my plan with that. It never even had a name, this pattern. It went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I finally settled on the baubles, and I was like flying, got through like half a ball of yarn, and then I was like, oh, I made a mistake. This shawl's gonna be upside down, which means the baubles aren't gonna be right up in the right place. Ugh. And it's just been sitting there ever since then. So I really need to frog it because it's just sitting there. And I know I'm not going to continue it as is. So consider this your permission slip to frog something if it's not happening the way you want it to. Second project that will be frogged and made into something else is living in my beautiful African lady bag from Nadir Tani. That's Caleisha of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. She makes bags every once in a while, and they're fabulous. And I snagged this bag from her, gosh, a while ago now. And what is living in here is a hat design that will be frogged because it is too big. And I'm going to make it into something else. This yarn is called Little Nova, and it was a gift because it was named Little Nova, of course, from a viewer of this podcast named Robin. And it is Freckled Whimsy hand-dyed yarns. It's the self-striping. And I was like, ooh, I can make a hat. I love how the self-striping is working up. I was planning on making it like a slouchy hat. I did all the gauge and all the numbers and everything, but it's just too floofy back here. It's not what it was supposed to be. So it's been sitting, hanging out exactly like this for quite some time. My new plan, frog it. Use the same stitch pattern, which I love. Make some leg warmers. Because I don't want to make socks with this necessarily, but I think leg warmers would preserve the self-striping pattern and would be really, really cute. So that's my plan. I haven't gotten around to frogging it. But I have for perhaps the last month or 2 months known that that's what's going to happen to this. This will be frogged and repurposed into a pair of leg warmers. And that will make perfect use of that yarn. Because the hat is too big. And I don't feel like reworking all of that math. I just don't. The last WIP that I have has not been touched in quite some time. And I just don't know if I'm going to frog it or not. Half of me says it's not worth it. Frog it. Find another pattern for this yarn. And half of me is like, it's amazing. Just keep going. But it is tedious. This is living in a Halloween bag. And my friend Barb, who was one of the very first viewers of this podcast, sent me. She made this bag. And I put a pin on it that said, you got this. I don't got it. Don't think I got it. When I saw this pattern come out, it took my breath away. I was like, oh, I have to make that. That is one of the most fabulous patterns I have ever seen. It is so cool looking. I need this in my wardrobe. If I can find a picture of it for you, I'll show it to you. It's called The Last Ray. It's by Lena Fetadova. I'm making a fingering weight yarn. It's very boxy. You work from the bottom up. I did not want it to be that boxy. I spent days, weeks, faffing around with the gauge, faffing around with what size in the pattern I was going to make because I didn't want it to be as wide. I just didn't think I was going to wear it. So I settled on less ease based on my gauge. And I got a little bit of the way in. And now that I look at it, truly not that far. Not that far in. That's 1 point in the frog it category. So the yarn that I am using is Malabrigo Sock. It's 100% superwash merino. In the colorway Fuchsia. This color excites me just as much as that other hot pink. Another point in the frog it category. I really want to wear something made out of this yarn. So I have 4 balls of it. And the yarn was a gift from a viewer of this podcast. Has it been 2? It's been a year and a half. Oh my gosh! It's been a year and a half since this yarn came in. This is how much I have. It's so small. It's so small. And this would take me so long to make this garment. It doesn't look like much when it's like this, but when it's blocked, it's like that. Which honestly, like just doing that makes me want to be like, I have to finish it because this is going to be amazing. The problem is this entire thing is worked in stitches in the back loop, almost the entire thing. There is no rest rows, there is only counting. The rest rows, the one rest row, you still work in the back loop and you skip a stitch every so often. So there is no mindlessness at all for this pattern. But can you just like picture, like this would be the most beautiful garment, which is exactly why it took my breath away in the first place and exactly why it has not been frogged. But I'm honestly not even sure. I don't know. I just don't know. I end up, when I work on it, doing like 2 repeats. And then I'm like, ugh, and I put it away. I haven't touched this in months. So logically, the answer is I need to find another pattern that it will do this yarn justice. But every time I do this, it makes me want to keep working on it. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. Just personally, I find that pattern really tedious. Really, really tedious to follow. Perhaps it is this time in my life. I just don't have space for that kind of thing right now. I don't know. But I thought that pulling it out and talking to y'all about it would help me make a decision. Nope. Perhaps what I will do is leave it, work through some of this other stuff, and just keep my eyes open. And if I see another pattern that would take a similar amount of yarn, use that instead, and I'll just leave it. I don't want to make any major decisions when there's a baby coming. I just don't want to frog it because it's so pretty. But I also am not working on it and haven't been. So like, at some point, I don't know. That's my dilemma. So that's everything that's in my WIP basket. There's a couple of things in my WIP basket that I don't consider WIPs. There's like yarn in there that I've picked out for future projects. There is 2 bags that have pattern designs in them. The Amanda cowl and the Alina shawl, which I guess are technically WIPs because these samples are finished, but the patterns are nowhere near done. So those are not ready. But of the things that I'm like going to work on or frog, that is what I just showed you. I think that's the least amount I've ever had. Is that crazy? That's the least amount. So yeah, my goals, I'm putting this in the universe, even though it probably won't happen. I'm putting it in the universe anyways. My goals for the next 2 weeks are finish the button band for the mix and match cardigan and get significant progress on the sleeves. Work on the Hekla cardigan if I can with my hands. That's my only goal. There's 10 weeks before the baby comes. And I think it's possible to get that sweater finished before then, but I am also really tired. So honestly, who knows? There's been a couple of things that have come in the mail that I want to show you. One was these really delightful baby sleepers from Caleisha, which will be perfect because they're the 3 to 6 month size, and that's when it's going to be cold in Florida. So this one says, "Welcome to my universe." So this baby will be able to wear them in like December, January when it's actually cold. And they're the little like sleep and play footy pajamas, which is so perfect. This one I feel like I should have had for Nova because it says take care of our planet, which, okay, fine. But it also says, I need my space. If that's not Nova, I don't know what is. And this one has moons and planets. And this one has moons and planets. Rocket ships. They're so pretty. And Alicia also sent a set of spoons, which are like the white hot, they're like little bitty spoons. And they change color when things are too hot. And I used the heck, I had a set of them. I used the heck out of them with Nova. And unfortunately, some of them met their demise. One got eaten by the garbage disposal. One, I believe, got thrown away by accident. And one went through the dishwasher. So it didn't work. It had this heat sensing stuff got killed. And one was just used so much that like the coating on it came off the spoon. So I was really excited to get those spoons in the mail. And then I told was like, these, you don't understand. These are great spoons. And then she sent Nova her own set of spoons. So now we have 2 sets of the spoons, and I kid you not, Nova has been playing with the spoons. She won't let me put them in the drawer. She's been using them as drumsticks. She's been pretending to make soup in her kitchen with them. So she has her own set of these spoons, and she loves them so much, which I just find hysterical. So thank you. Thank you, Alicia. That was so sweet for you to send Nova her own set. My in-laws were here, and my sister-in-law gave us a set of really cute bibs. This says "very cool," like daddy. And then you have bears, yellow. This one's like little lines, and this one's orange. And you can never have too many bibs. Certainly in Nova's case. We're going to do like 4 or 5 a day. And then Nova's cousin, Elijah, picked this out for the baby. It's a little dinosaur, and you get to chew on it. And it's so cute. Nova has been desperate to steal this, but I've confiscated it. Like, you don't need to chew on that. You're not a child. You have your teeth. I mean, she is a child. She's not a baby. And also, my friend Emmy sent us some baby bottles. These are the Tommy Tippy baby bottles. They're the same ones I used finally, when I finally settled on some bottles that didn't make Nova increase her spit up exponentially. They were these bottles. They look like this. They're little short squat bottles, and they have kind of like a big nipple, which I have a couple of these bottles left, but you know, they went through the ringer with Nova. You don't have to replace baby bottles necessarily when you have another kid, unless there's a reason for that, but you must replace the nipples because they get holes chewed in them, bacteria, all kinds of stuff. So you need to replace baby bottle nipples. But I really just wanted a few new bottles because Nova used these and the anti-colic bottles, and she just went through, I mean, she was on a bottle for 7 months, maybe longer, and they got beat up. So I'm just really happy to have a few extra new ones. So thank you so much for those. They will be definitely used. My goal for nursing this baby will be the same that I had for Nova, which will be 6 months. I hope that I will not be as overwhelmed and it would not be as bad of a journey as it was with Nova. But if it is, we will switch to formula sooner. That is my promise to myself. And if it's not, maybe we can go a little longer, but I'm going to say, personally, I don't know that I will be able to go longer than that. I just, at some point, I'm going to need my body back. And if you ever nursed a baby, you probably know what I mean by that. But just as a highly sensitive person, it's like really overstimulating for me to be a food source for someone. That's super intense. So my goal is to make it 6 months. We will see. The last thing that came in the mail is from Dolores, who watches this podcast as well. There was a lovely package for the baby with some clothes. It says, "Adventure with me." Little baby onesies. These are also 3 to 6 month size. It's got mountains. Baby clothes are so cute. Gray stripies, and this, so cute. It's a Mickey Mouse collared onesie with little shorts. What if this kid's gonna be so much more fashionable than I ever was? They're so cute. This I confiscated from Nova because I wanted to show it on the podcast, but it says Big Sister. She sent Nova a shirt that says Big Sister and a book. It says Big Sisters Are the Best. And we have read this book so much. This came in this week, and we have read it multiple times, and Nova really loves this book. So we're going to keep reading it because there's a baby coming. And she needs to know how to interact with the baby. And then the other thing she sent are these two pattern books. This is a pattern book about knit shawls, and this is a pattern book about knit sweaters. And so all the knit shawls are on the back. This one is my favorite, obviously because it's rainbow. And then about the sweaters, where is the one that those are all the sweaters. This is not a good picture of this one, but that's my favorite one. Let me see if I can find it so I can show it to you. This one, striped boat neck sweater. That's really pretty. I probably would not make that with long sleeves. Probably make it with short sleeves, but it's great. It's so pretty. So all of this came in the mail. Thank you, Dolores. It's so nice. You're so kind. I will put it in the stack of baby clothes to be organized as soon as this construction is done and I can make some kind of progress. And the last thing that came in the mail is a magazine. It's a crochet magazine. And normally I try to get these from my friend Claudia, who has Crochet Luna, but I dropped the ball and I didn't get them on a pre-order. I don't know what to blame that on other than I'm just not here these days. And this is the spring summer issue and it's already the middle of summer. So I got a copy of this from Pearl Soho. It's More It Magazine. And if you don't get More It Magazine, you should. It is such a high quality magazine. The paper is beautiful. The printing is beautiful. The photography is beautiful. The patterns are innovative and creative. And it's, in my opinion, the only magazine of its kind for crochet. It is not kitschy at all. It is just fabulous. This is one of my favorite designs in the whole thing. It's called Poppin'. It's actually a Tunisian tank top, which is beautiful. There's a few other things. This is called the Slice of Life shawl, which is like a long, skinny kind of shawl, which I know a couple of y'all are making already. There's crochet color work in there. Here's another one. It's crochet color work all in the yoke, which is amazing. There's a hat. And let me show you. Oh, this one I really like too. This is called La Christie. That is a fabulous pattern. So you can see what I mean when I say this is not kitschy. It is just clean, amazing design. Kind of reminds me of Pom Pom magazine. This is Tian Tian. It is a crochet beadwork sweater. Amazing. In my opinion, it's amazing. There's another shawl. There's a couple other things, pullovers. The patterns have charts. The patterns have links where you can see more photos. There's a couple of articles in here, which are amazing. And look at all the contributors. This is Faye. Hi, Faye. The Crochet Circle, formerly the Crochet Circle podcast and Providence Craft Co. This is Allison, who is from the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast, also the producer of this magazine. And this is Rosina from the Zines and Roger podcast, and she designed one of the lovely sweaters in this book. And all of the rest of them are amazing too. And you can get a digital copy if you download with the code. Like, you get a sticker. Every magazine has a sticker where you can get this on digitally as well if you prefer to do patterns on your tablet. I prefer paper because it's amazing. Highly recommend More It. I'm not sponsored in any way to say that. I just think it's amazing. So yeah, I'm getting really hot. It has been a long time. And I have recorded this in one shot. This may be the last time that happens, ever. Because normally Nova's here and I have like 17 jump cuts because she is like attacking my face. And then when the new baby gets here, I'm never going to be alone again, pretty much. But yeah, we are 30 weeks pregnant today. And the bump is bumping. There's a baby in there for sure. It feels like a bowling ball. I have been nonstop queasy since Sunday night and it's Thursday, so that's delightful. The construction is ongoing. feels never ending. I'm sure it's going to end, as all things do. But I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And I'm like ready for the baby to come, but I'm not ready for the baby to come because nothing is done. And also, like, I want this baby out of my body, but also it needs to stand and cook for another 10 weeks. So it's just a lot. I'm trying to take it one day at a time. But I feel like my overall patience is wearing thin. And that could be just because the construction for this whole time I've been pregnant, or it could be that we're in the 3rd trimester and I'm just tired again, or it could be anything. I don't know, but I'm so tired. And yeah, see, I said I was tired. Now I'm thinking about being tired, and now I'm yawning. And there's just so much that has to be done. Like the drywall people, they're not here yet, but they'll be here at some point today, banging around. Tile guy's here. There's also someone coming to look at our washing machine this afternoon because stupid washing machine. It will not wash a load of clothing without getting unbalanced. And no amount of redistributing the clothing around will make it balance again. So that is annoying on a personal level. But also there's a baby coming and we're about to have so much laundry again. So it has to be fixed before this baby comes. Because when Nova was tiny, I did a little laundry every single day, I think. So that's happening all today. And then tomorrow is Friday. And I have to figure out something to talk about at church on Sunday. Because I just haven't, what is life? I don't know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Everything is crazy. And I don't know what I'm doing today. So I hope you're having a less crazy time. I hope it's a little less hot where you are. Oh my Lord, it has been hot here. We broke records this week. And it's July, which is supposed to be super hot, but like August is normally the hottest. So if we're breaking records and it's July, I'm concerned what it's going to be like in August, the perfect time to be 7, 8, and 9 months pregnant. I'm just trying to stay inside as much as possible, which is hard with a 2-year-old. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I need to stop rambling and I need to do some work because I have to go get the baby in an hour. So yeah, I guess I'll sign off. I'll stop rambling. I will catch you in 2 weeks. We'll have another podcast episode. Or if you are so inclined, you can watch the vlog videos and just follow along with what we're doing in July. No pressure, but if you want to, leave me a comment. Let me know. What do you think? Should I frog that pink sweater? Or what? Let me know. Let me know. And if you have any tips for surviving record-breaking heat waves while 7.5 months pregnant, please let me know what they are because your girl is dying. Okay? The neck fan is not helping. Until I see you again, happy crafting. Be kind to yourself. XOXO. Bye, friends.